Around this time, we start thinking about the new year. We write New Year resolutions, we make promises, we say things like, next year will be different. But here is the truth I've learned. Real change does not start on January 1st. It starts with awareness, it starts with reflection, and with feeding your mind with something new. And one of the simplest, most powerful ways to do that is simply by reading. Not the kind of reading that is meant to impress people, or because it's trendy. Reading to understand yourself, to heal, to grow, and to become the kind of person that you have been praying to be. A few years back, I made a decision to invest in my life through books, and it totally changed the way I think, the way I see life, and the way I show up every day. And that's what this video is about. So welcome to this new season. Welcome to reflection, growth, and evolution. Welcome to my self-help book series, where I'll be sharing books that transform me this year, one episode at a time. Please note that this is not a ranking from worst to best. Every book on this season added something new and meaningful to my life. The books that lay the foundation come first, and along the way, we build up to the ones that impacted me most. This book we're talking about is Woman Evolved by Sarah Jakes. There are so many beautiful things to learn from Sarah Jakes' Woman Evolved. One of the things that stood out to me in this book is the idea that sometimes our blessings begin to feel like a burden. And when we begin to feel this way, Sarah invites us to remember that it began as a blessing. Do not let the devil steal your blessing mindset. Practically, you pray for a job, you got it, you know that this job is from God, and your boss just dances on your last nerve. You get so mad and begin to see this job as a burden. The invitation is not to let your boss to hijack or to steal your blessing mindset, but to approach this situation from the mentality of this started as a blessing. This shift alone changes how you see your responsibilities, your calling, and your present season. It's a suggestion that when confronting whatever is standing in your way from seeing your blessing properly, you should remember that it all began as a blessing. We must try to live in the consciousness that the blessing is from God. And this is true for every good and perfect gift that God has placed in our lives. Be it whether it is a child, a husband, a parent, a wife, a job, opportunity, we must try to live in that consciousness that that gift is a blessing from God. The solution to the dilemma can only be found when we honor that God is in it. One of the beautiful things she shared in this book is that trust or belief in the unknown is that belief that unanswered questions and progress can coexist. So while waiting for those questions to be answered, keep moving, keep making progress, and keep believing. I love Man Evolve for the fact that it doesn't rush healing. It gives you permission to evolve slowly. On our second episode is The Day Before Tomorrow by Dr. Madison Gatterson. After Woman Evolved softened my heart, this next book confronted my habits, especially procrastination. The Day Before Tomorrow by Dr. Madison Gatterson. It's all about living in the today. It's how to make today count. So this book is all about living in today. Because when you keep postponing life, waiting for the perfect mood, the perfect moment, you don't live. You exist, but don't engage. This book is actually so powerful for anyone who is stuck in the I will do it tomorrow mode. One statement that has stood with me from this book for a very long time is that procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you the chance to do tomorrow what He already gave you the chance to do today. Today is where discipline begins. Today is where faith shows up. Not in intention, but in action. What I love so much about The Day Before Tomorrow is that it wakes you up. It pushes you to ask questions like, what am I postponing that God already equipped me to handle? What calling am I delaying because I am waiting to feel ready? This book taught me that tomorrow is not a strategy, today is. And for anyone who is struggling with procrastination, delayed obedience, this book is a good place to start. And the third book on our series is Small Business, Big Money by Akin Alabi. So this book spoke particularly to the entrepreneur in me as a small business owner. I found this book very helpful. This book is particularly for people who have started small or are even afraid to start small. One of the biggest lessons I learned from this book is the idea of owning your market, not playing small, nor shrinking your vision in order to fit fear. And to dominate your market is not by waiting to feel ready, but by starting and showing up consistently. And one concept that really stayed with me is the concept of mindshare. So as a business owner, every time you post your product, every time you talk about your service, every time you show online, you're gaining mindshare. Even when people don't like the post, even when they don't comment, or even when they don't buy yet. That was freeing for me because so many business owners like myself get discouraged when they don't get immediate response, feedback, or sales. Someone may not respond today, someone may not buy tomorrow. They are watching, they are remembering, and when the need arises, your business is already in their mind. This book also taught me that consistency compounds and growth belongs to those who are willing to consistently show up even when results are quiet. I believe you'll gain more great insights from this book about your small business or your big business, or even the confidence that you need to start small, start from where you are, and show up consistently. And this episode is a powerful one because almost everyone has talked about Atomic Habits, and honestly, it deserves the hype. Atomic Habits by James Clear. So if you're that person who is entering the new year saying, I want to break bad habits, I want to build good habits, this book is definitely for you. This book teaches you that you don't change your life overnight, you change it by one small decision at a time. One of the concepts that stood out to me was the concept of habit stacking, that is, building new habits on already existing ones. This idea is one of the easiest ways to build a new habit. That is, you're adding a new habit that you're trying to build consistently to one that you already do consistently. What's a habit that you do consistently every day? Literally, you eat every day. So imagine adding a habit to your eating time. Maybe after eating, I'll read, or while eating, I read. You see here, there is no pressure, no motivation battle, just structure. Another powerful lesson to build new habits or good habits and break bad ones is the idea of making good habits easy and bad ones very difficult. Let's take a practical example. We live in a time where phone usage has become toxic. Most of us don't even realize how much time we spend on our phones till we check our screen time, and it's alarming. Let's say you want to break that habit of using your mobile phone to toxic levels, break the habit of jumping to your phone first thing in the morning instead of maybe having some quiet time for meditation. How do you make such a habit difficult? Practical things like leaving your phone in a different room from the room that you sleep. So instead of depending on willpower, this book teaches you how to change your environment, modify your environment to make good habits easy and bad ones difficult. For me, that looks like when going to bed, I leave my phone in a different room and I use an analog alarm instead. But if my phone is next to me and I use an alarm on my phone, I can just, okay, let me check the alarm, and the next thing, while you want to switch off your alarm, or there is a message notification, or let me just check WhatsApp, and then the next thing, let me just check Instagram and all of that. But if I have a book next to me, when I wake up, what's most easy to do at that time is pick up my Bible. You want to start going to the gym. What's an easy way? It don't depend on willpower or motivation. An easy way to start becoming consistent is to modify your environment to make the new habits easy. So before going to bed, I arrange my gym clothes. I set them ready. My shoes ready. My bag ready. Everything ready. But if you have to wake up and start looking for what you are going to wear to the gym, that is making the new habit difficult. So that's the genius about Atomic Habits. It doesn't ask you to become stronger, it simply asks you to become smarter. This book helped me to understand that lasting change is not dramatic. It's quiet, it's intentional, and it's daily. So if you want real sustainable change in the new year, Atomic Habits, it's a good deal. On number 5 is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. This book is not just something you read, it's something you live into. One thing I love so much about Robin Sharma's writings is he constantly reminds us that life is not something that is meant to be rushed, normed, or survived, but meant to be lived intentionally. So Robin in this book talks about the journey of a lawyer who had everything society regards as success. It's money, status, prestige, but yet felt so empty. So what this lawyer did was he disconnected from the noise, the constant striving, and the ambition. And he goes to the mountains, to the monks, a place without technology. And that stillness, he finds himself, he finds purpose. And guess what? When he returns, he doesn't come back with wealth, but he comes back with wisdom. What I also love so much about this book is the fact that it demonstrates that real success is not really about doing more, but about being more. Becoming calmer, becoming more intentional, and becoming more aligned with your values. Right, and finally we arrived at a book that I intentionally left to be the last. The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma is one of my favorite authors, and without any exaggeration, the 5 a.m. Club is a must-read for anyone stepping into 2026 with the intention to become better. Not just successful, but becoming more intentional about life. So basically, this book is about self-discipline, consistency, self-mastery, and ultimately, service. One statement in this book has stayed with me for a very long time now. It says, all that matters on your last day on earth is the potential you have leveraged, the heroism you have demonstrated, and the human lives that you have graced. That statement alone reframes life. Because just like the monk who sold his Ferrari, Robin Sharma reminds us that life is not about existing, but it's about living and about serving. It's about becoming the kind of person whose life leaves others better. At the heart of the 5 a.m. Club is a simple but powerful idea. Tiny decisions practiced daily create extraordinary lives. Waking up early, especially in the early hours of the morning, is not about punishment or productivity for productivity's sake. It's about ownership. Biologically, the early morning hours is when the mind is calm, focused, and uncluttered. Spiritually, it's a quiet time before the world demands anything from us. And mentally, it's when clarity is at its peak. It's not just about waking up at 5 a.m., it is what you do when you wake up at 5 a.m. That is where one of the most powerful concepts in this book comes in. I cannot even overemphasize the 20-20-20 formula. So here, the first hour of your morning is divided into 3 focused 20-minute blocks. For the first 20 minutes is meant for moving. Here, you have to move your body, hydrate, stretch, breathe, and these activities are meant to sharpen your mind and activate your body. Second 20-minute block is meant for reflection, where you pray, meditate, plan your day, and the last 20-minute block is reserved for growth. It's meant for you to read, to study, something that expands your brain. And when you commit to this consistently, something shifts. So he encourages and challenges us to protect our mornings so that technology doesn't steal away the hours that are meant to shape our destiny. So if you're serious about growth, about service, and becoming the best version of yourself, I will absolutely recommend the 5 a.m. Club to anybody because it's a really, really great book. I cannot even overemphasize the very practical principles that Robin Sharma teaches in these books will help you to become the best version of yourself. So to get things straight here, what I'm sharing here are highlights, not summaries. Not everything the authors covered, because if I try to talk about everything, we'll be here for hours or maybe days. So what you're hearing is not the full depth, it's an invitation. Invitation to go deeper, to read for yourself, to discover the lessons that will speak directly to your own season. Let this just be a spark to your curiosity, because this book have so much more for you to discover. Step into the next year with clarity, courage, and purpose. If you enjoyed this video, please do give us a thumbs up. It really does help the channel. If this encouraged you, please do share with someone who needs some inspiration as they step into the new year. Here is to growth, to purpose, and intentional living. See you on the next one.